Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure into the end. Shabbat Shalom. This is the brother Ra'aya with another lesson, and I'm going to start it off in Amos chapter 8, verses 11 to 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water. Though food shortages and famines of biblical proportions are coming, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, the famine of the word, where the men of the Lord are no longer going to be on the highways and byways preaching this word, and video epistles like this are no longer going to be available online. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. When that famine of the word hits, Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai is going to have to be dealing with you to, come across a man of the Lord, to get the word. And the Spirit's even going to have to be on him to preach that word to you. So like we tell you sincere Akim and Akwat all the time, while these rivers of living waters are freely flowing, drink from them and gain as much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as you can, because we're coming into the times very quickly that spigot's going to be turned off. But as for the wicked of our people that spent this time of liberty, taking this word as a joke and casting it behind their backs, verse 13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, spiritually, because all hell, judgment, death, and destruction of Jacob's trouble is going to be taking place, and they're going to be running, looking for answers, but they won't find any. And as it also says in 2 Esdras chapter 9, then shall they know it after death by pain. And also in Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33, and when these things cometh to pass, and lo, they will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. But I opened up the video with these verses to preface, a couple of articles. The first one I'm going to be going to is on Newsweek.com, titled, Republicans Voting for Bill That Could Make Bible Illegal Outrages MAGA. MAGA conservatives voiced outrage at congressional Republicans voting for the Anti-Simulation Awareness Act over concerns it would make the Bible illegal. And we have to speak in codes because of YouTube's algorithms. Congress on Wednesday passed the bill, which would require the Department of Education to use the International Holocene Remembrance Alliance, IHRA, working definition of anti-simulation when enforcing anti-discrimination laws. It comes as colleges across the United States have seen pro-Palestinian protests that critics say at times have allegedly veered into anti-simulationism. And more and more information's coming out that just like those George Floyd protests, those Black Lives Matter and Antifa protests, back during the summer of 2020, were funded by George Soros. Hey, the same thing is turning out to be with a lot of these pro-Palestinian protests on these college campuses. An agenda behind everything. And what are we seeing coming in the wake of it? Bills and legislation looking to be passed, dealing with combating so-called anti-simulationism. Anti-simulationism is a certain perception of Jays, which may be expressed as hatred towards Jays. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-simulationism are directed towards J or non-J individuals and or their property, towards J communities, institutions, and religious facilities. The definition reads, let me see. I'll read this. The bill drew bipartisan criticism, with both Democrats and Republicans voting against it. Critics argue the bill, if signed into law, stifles free speech that is protected by the U.S. Constitution and is overly broad in its definition of anti-simulationism, pointing to the definition including claiming that the existence of the state of the 1948ers is a racist endeavor. Hey, there are plenty clips out there with those Amalekite Edomites calling themselves RISRAELISs over in the Holy Land, calling for the deletion, of those Palestinian Arabs. So that sounds pretty pretty much like a racist apartheid endeavor to me. That's besides the point. Ultimately, 91 members of Congress voted against it. Here's the main point I wanted to get to. Some conservatives are taking issue with the bill over the IHRA definition of anti-simulationism. And remember, what did it say up here? That Congress on Wednesday passed the bill which would require the Department of Education to use the IHRA definition of anti-simulationism. Well, let's see what that definition includes. Some conservatives are taking issue with the bill over the IHRA definition of anti-simulationism, including claims of J's killing, it says Jesus there, but the true name of the Most High Son is Yahushai. So the definition, according to the IHRA of anti-simulationism, includes claims of J's killing Yahushai or blood libel, arguing that it could mean that parts of the Bible would now become illegal. So, hey, they were looking to pass this bill, due to those pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses. But with the definition they're wanting to institute dealing with anti-simulationism, it involves claims that saying that the Jays killed Yahushai, is considered anti-simulationism, which, those people back then that killed Yahushai, were the true children of Israel, of the southern kingdom, the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, or the so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, so-called Haitians, and so-called West Indians or Jamaicans as they're known today. They weren't even those people that today are calling themselves Jays. So you would think that, they wouldn't have an issue with that since they weren't those people. But you can see how much of a slippery slope this is. The ultimate goal is to, make the Bible illegal and to make the men of the Lord, the prophets that preach it, make them enemies of the state, domestic teas, or anti-simulationists. Because with the true men of the Lord, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the spirit of GMS, beginning with our apostles and elders on down, going out onto the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up these video epistles online, breaking down the scriptures in 144%, truth and accuracy. We're exposing what the Bible truly says, that the true children of Israel are indeed the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that, the Most High isn't for everybody but his own nation, and that those people over in the Holy Land, calling themselves the children of the Most High, are actually Edomites, and that you Edomites, that you so-called white people are in fact the biblical Edomites, or the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And you can see the tectonic shift that this ministry has done to the world, as it says in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which it has been, through the unicorn or the internet, and then shall the end come. All these end times prophecies all throughout the scriptures are either in the process of taking place or taking place as we speak. The wicked are being exposed. So as it says in Revelation 12, verse 12, the devil, Esau, Edom, is specifically their elites, like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, who were Amalekite Edomites themselves, are going to come down in great wrath because they know it that they have but a short time. And again, that involves, demonizing the Bible and the men that preach it and, the true believers out there. So again, that famine of the word is coming. And when we see information like this, we know that it is coming very quickly. But now I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 29. I'm going to start at verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The spiritual eyes and ears of the elect of the nation of Israel, hearing and seeing the words of the book preached by the prophets. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. And why is that? Because, our people are waking up to the fact that they're not just niggers and spics and tontos, black, African American, a Mexican, or anything like that. That this isn't our lot in life to be perpetual second-class citizens, the lowest of the low in society, that we come of royalty, that we are the children of Israel, and that this is just a temporary punishment for us, and soon we're going to be ruling in authority in the kingdom of heaven for eternity, and that these heathens that have ever held us in low regard are going to be underneath our feet. But hey, to these heathens out there, especially these Edomites, hey, that's not a message they want to hear. And especially with this preaching bringing about these prophecies, again, Matthew 24 verse 14, for the terrible one is brought to naught, Esau, Edom, the wicked, and they are being brought to naught spiritually right now with this word being preached. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1 verse 4, the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job 9 verse 24, the biblical Edomites. And at the head of the tribes of the Edomites are the Amalekite Edomites, who call themselves the Jays today, the little hats, the 1948ers. And then shall that wicked be revealed, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, his prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. When Yahushua finally makes his second coming to save his elect and make war against these heathens, chiefly the wicked, the Edomites. So again, for the terrible one is brought to naught spiritually right now, but then that physical part is coming quickly, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Here's the main point I wanted to get to, that make a man an offender for a word, doing these little shady, behind the scenes agendas, pushing these bills and legislations to, on the surface, make it seem like they're combating anti-simulationism due to those college protests over the whole 1948er Hamas war. But at the same time, the definition that the organization, the definition that they're using for anti-simulationism is an organization that saying the Jays killed Yahushua is labeled anti-simulationism. So what? That would label the Bible as anti-simulationism and would be a need for censorship. And anybody that preaches, anything that goes against the narrative of the little hats or just the status quo, hey, they're labeled as a anti-simulationist, domestic tease, black identity extremists, enemies of the state, that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. And these snares and traps that they're laying are what? Right now, these bills and legislations, so that they can be justified in physically coming after us. These different alphabet organizations rounding us up and throwing us into these detention centers, which, what does it say in Revelation chapter 2, verse 10? Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, which just means a complete amount of tribulation, for you sincere Akim, you few Akwat out there that are cast into prison by the devil, Esau, Edom. Be thou faithful unto death, if it's your lot to be a martyr for this word, and I will give thee a crown of life, being of that elect number, being the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven. So, hey, we're seeing, everything is perfectly lining up with biblical prophecy. And, a major part of that is the fame of the word and the persecution to come. But as it just said in Revelation 2, verse 10, if we endure all things like a good soldier of Yahushua to the end, we shall be saved and receive those crowns. But now I'm going to go to my last bit of information on www.2.cbn.com titled Dystopian America, Where Bibles Are Banned, Believers Forced Underground, Exclusive Look at New Movie. And, this is one of those, Christian movies coming out called Disciples of the Moonlight, where it envisions an America where the Bible has been completely banned, and those that believe in it or are found with it, are sent to prisons. Hey, everything lining up. Picture a dystopian America where Bibles are banned, Christianity is vanquished, and believers are forced to embark on a perilous journey to worship Yahushua in underground churches. That's the world characters face in Disciples in the Moonlight, a feature film releasing this summer. According to an official description, the movie focuses on a reluctant leader who heads up a team of 7 Christians intent on smuggling Bibles to underground churches. The action-packed trailer shows a world devoid of truth, where characters risk it all to exercise and live out basic beliefs. A world devoid of truth. Back in Amos, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Let me see. Kind of lost my place a little bit. That's the world characters face in Disciples in the Moonlight, a feature film releasing this summer. According to the official description, the movie focuses on a reluctant leader who heads up a team of 7 Christians intent on smuggling Bibles to underground churches. The action-packed trailer shows a world devoid of truth where characters risk it all to exercise and live out basic beliefs. And they have the trailer linked in this article, which, if I remember to do so, I'll put this article in the description, and I would highly recommend, watching that trailer. Hey, a lot of those things in that trailer, hey, they're going to become the norm very soon, according to biblical prophecy. But that's it with this article. Now I'm going to close it out in Matthew chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 8. And when you read up, it's Yahushua telling his disciples in the past of the end time signs to look for to know that they were living in the last days and that his second coming was nigh. And as it says in Romans chapter 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning. Yahushua was really speaking to his disciples today who are living in these times and about to go through these things. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Hey, we're just in the beginning stages right now. Apostle Tahar has deemed 2024 to be the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, and we can see biblical prophecy just brewing damn near every day. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. Hey, the devil shall cast some of you into prison and shall kill you. Hey, be thou faithful unto death, if that's your lot. And ye shall be hated of nations for my name's sake. Hey, like the premise of that movie, Disciples in the Moonlight. And when you watch at the beginning of that trailer, they have some American government, official saying, we have finally purged this nation of the hatefulness of the Holy Bible. And we can see that when we go out there and prophesy this word and put up these video epistles, the majority of people hate this message of truth. And if they could, they'd put us to death. And they will try. Verse 10, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Hey, don't be surprised when your so-called family members, even your so-called wife and children betray you, for preaching this gospel, and shall hate one another. And I'm going to jump down to verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Back in Revelation 2, verse 10. Be thou faithful unto death, if that's your lot, and I will give thee a crown of life. Ultimately being of that elect number, the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. They just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babol, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.